Okay, so today I'm gonna show you how you can make new melodies using your existing rhythms. I guess the big question is not how, but actually why. When you have made a melody, making a new one, why should you do so? So imagine that you're going to a foreign city. You're really starving. So what you do is that you go and find the restaurant that looks the best because you really need to get your need for food satisfied. So you're not really taking any chances because seriously, you just want to get full. And after you're full, you're thinking, wow, this was the best meal ever, because you don't really have much to compare it with. So maybe it was the best, but maybe it was also just the best because it was the thing that was the most easy and most accessible. Maybe it was a restaurant that kind of looked like a restaurant you already had been at. Now you're full. You have made your first melody. I think now is the time to actually go and explore it, because now your need for food is not that big. It's much easier now, because if everything fails, then it's not like that you're going to starve and die because of you didn't like your new food, your new melody. Now when you're going out, you actually have the chance to experiencing something new and actually figure out, was the first place really that awesome, or was it actually just good enough? Because now you have something to compare with. And for me, it's not about making the best melody, but for me, it's about having a big experience. Making music is all about experiencing. Even though you think you made a really great melody, try to make a new one just to see how it would be. Music is not about being good, but it's about being curious and exploring. When I have made one melody, it's really easy to just try to modify it to see what else it can be. So today I'm looking at a really old song that I wrote like 15 years ago, I think. And I really like it, and I have known the melody for 15 years. So it's really stuck on me. The other day when I was rehearsing this, I was like, hey, what would actually happen if I made a new melody for this song? So that's what we're gonna try to do today. Okay, so the old melody sounds like this. I must walk till it stops. I must clear my head from fear. I can cry until I die. And I really like when the chords and the melody is playing the same. But I've also experienced that I maybe also like it when the melody is something else. So let's try. I will just wear some headphones. So the first thing I want to do is to make a lapse piano, which is basically how I'm gonna write my new melody using the same rhythm. So the first thing I want to do is to simply transcribe the current melody. So I could just play it, but I could also try this awesome function in Ableton that simply does it for you. Let's see how well it can do it. Okay, so now we have it. I must walk till I will simply just clean it up. So simply for today, we're only gonna take this first part. So my approach is to simply try out a lot of different options for the first note and do that for every single note and simply make the new melodies note by note. So I must walk is the first line. I really love that one, but even though I really love this, it's like going to this city center, and instead of just going to the first and the best, then let's try to see what else is there, because your imagination is not the limit. The limit is how clever you are, because your imagination can only imagine what's right in front of you. It can imagine something that you haven't experienced before. So I will just continue trying different notes, and if I really love this one, I then I will just go back to that one. But I'm in no rush to really decide on something yet. And I think that's very important. I must. Wow. The only problem is that I can't sing it. I must walk. I must walk. So now we're back. And even though I have found notes for the following notes, then let's try not to use them because, again, this is my imagination trying to make me get full as fast as possible. But I really don't need to get full. I need to experience as much as possible. So even though I have like this melody now, I must walk, then I will still try out different combinations for the second and the third note. And I must walk. And what I'm gonna do now is both to go up and down. I must. That was really exciting. I must. That's maybe a bit. I must. I must. I must. I must. I must walk. I must. I must walk. I must. And another really good thing to have in mind is that we are very good at imagining the nearby notes. So these notes, which simply means that we're gonna use them a lot, and actually a lot of time not even trying the notes that is further away. So let's try to do that so we can actually get to find the best tasting meal. I must. I must. I must. I must. I must. I must. I think I must. I must walk until it stops. I must walk. I think I will stay with this note. It's like, it's very rarely that I feel like this, but I actually can't decide what I think about it. But I think this is a really good note. And I must. I also like that one, but I know that I always just go 2 half steps up and generally really love to be in the neighborhood of 1 or 2 half steps up. So just to get to feel something else, I will try to go, this is 4 up, I think, 5. I must walk. I must walk. I must walk. I must walk. Wow, that was beautiful. I must walk. We can also bend them. I must walk. I must walk. So this is one option. I will simply mute them and just try to find something else. I must walk. I must walk. And now I'm thinking about how the feel of the song actually is. And it would be nice if it's not like aggressive, like very emotional, but if it would actually be like, I must walk. Very safe sounding somehow. I must walk. I must walk. I actually think this is very exciting. I must walk. Another really important thing is to always sing along, because when you sing along, you are simply connecting the melody to your body, and your body have listened to so much music, so therefore you're actually a really good judge of deciding what you think is good and what isn't. And when you're singing along, you just get to feel it, instead of when you're not singing along, then you're more listening with your brain. And your brain is often thinking about what other people like instead of what you actually feel is nice and not nice. And when I sing along again and again, I actually start to forget the old melody, which is really nice, because often when making a new melody, the most frustrating thing is that you're always listening to your old and comparing it. But I'm not doing that anymore, because I'm doing it so slow and by always listening to what I'm doing, not what I did do. I must walk until I must walk on. And right now I was almost like trying to avoid doing this properly. But let's try to go up. I must walk on. I must walk until I stop. Yeah. I must walk on. I must walk on. And again, even though I really love this one, I will try some other notes, because just because I like the first and the best doesn't mean that it's the best. And when I'm talking about the best, I'm simply talking about which plate of food is it that would really enlighten my taste buds. It's not something about making the best music, but it's about getting the biggest experience. And yes, music is about experiencing. Let's try to move it up. I must walk until it stops. This is not bad. Always try to take it up if you're only working downwards. I must walk until it stops. And this is incredibly hard for me to sing, because this is a new melody, and yes, singing is about singing the same thing again and again, so you get used to it. I must walk until I must walk until I stop. I must walk on. I must walk until I stop. And remember, do it slowly, because if you're doing it fast, you don't really get to feel what you're doing. And if you don't get to feel what you're doing, how can you then know what you want to do? Often the biggest problem I see young producers do is that they do 100 things at the same time, but they do it so fast that it's like they're kind of building on top of this, oh, it almost sounds good, and this almost sounds good on top of it, and blah, blah, blah. But then in the end, it's like the restoration work afterwards to get everything to be really nice just takes so much more time. So by doing it slowly and making sure that each and every single step gets the way that you really want it to be, then it's just a really secure way of making music, which is really gonna be powerful for the listener, and hopefully you too. I must walk until... And we of course gonna try to take this up instead of going down. I must walk until I die. That was really good, but let's try something else. I must walk until I die. I think I will try this one out. Until I die. Now it's just there. I don't know why I did it, because never go 2 steps ahead. I must walk until I die. That was what I made here. I have heard from other people that they are really like, oh, but I get so many ideas for what's next to come. But it's fine that you do so, but always just try to challenge those ideas, because ideas can bring you somewhere new, and if you also make your new ideas bring you somewhere new, then I think you're in a really good workflow. I must walk until I die. Let's try to go up. I must walk until I die. I liked it that it went up. But let's try. Must walk until I die. I really like this note, but I'm not sure if I'm ever gonna be able to sing it. But again, maybe this is a good way to become a better singer, because if I need to be able to sing this, then I just need to practice. And then I would actually expand my vocabulary in singing. And again, this is a good example, because if I was doing this very fast and just like improvising it, I would never sing that note because I'm not really able to. Since I actually think that this is the best note I can choose, then I just need to do the work and learn to sing it. And in this way I will become a better singer, and I will also make a melody that I like better. I must walk until I die. But let's go down, because I said so. I must walk until I die. This is good, but it's not like, oh, exciting. I must walk until I die. It feels like I'm going back to another universe that is really safe, and in my world right now a bit boring. I must walk until I fall. Stops. I must walk until it stops. I must walk until it stops. I must walk until it stops. That was exciting. I must walk until it stops. I must walk until it stops. I like this the most. I must clear my head from fear. I must walk until it stops. I must clear. Oh, I really like that note. But again, let's try something else. You can see 2 half steps away, because that's just like it feels safe and my imagination can imagine it. But to expand our imagination, let's try to move away. I must walk until it stops. I must clear. I must walk until it stops. Okay, let's try to go up. I must clear my head from fear. I must walk until it stops. I must clear my... So let's just make a decision. I must walk. This is the note that simply gives me the biggest experience. It's like the one that awakens my body, and it's like, what is this doing? In a very good way. I must, and I'm afraid of going up, because I need to be able to sing it someday somehow. I must clear. I must clear. Okay, Okay, let's just try. I must clear. 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 I must clear my head from stress. Okay, let's do until here, because this takes some time. And I don't think that's very exciting to look at. I must clear my head from fear. See again, a half step up. I must fear my head from fear. I like that better. I must clear my head from fear. Let's try to listen. I must walk until it stops. I must clear my head from fear. And I think this is very exciting, and I'm not gonna judge whether I like the one or the other today. I will do that another day. And instead I will make a third melody, because just like when we are trying out different notes, then let's try to start at a different note and see where that takes us. So again, I will simply just duplicate this from the previous take. I will choose another note than the previous one and the original. I will walk until I must walk. I must walk. I must walk. Must walk. I must walk. I must walk until I must walk until I must walk. Until it stops, until it stops, until it stops. I must clear my head from fear. Okay, so this is, I'm not sure about what I think about it, but like everything when it's new, often we don't like it because we just like what we kind of already know. So I will just play it sometimes to figure out what happens when I do so. I must walk until it stops. Let's stop. I must walk. I must clear. I must clear my head from fear. No, I don't like this. I must fall until it stops. Oh, I think I like this. Until it stops. I must walk. I must walk. No. I must walk. I must clear my head. I must clear my head from fear. I must clear my head from fear. But I would simply just go on and on, but I will record this and then we can listen to the 3 takes. Let's listen to the original. I must walk till it stops. I must clear my head from fear. Let's turn up the take 2. I'm seeing the first 10 times better, but I'm not sure actually about what I think, and that's why this is very exciting. Take 3. I must walk until it's done. I must clear my head from fear. I really like this one too. But for now, I think that I will let them be, and I will save this, and then I will listen to it another day. For me, it's very important to let the creative process let open instead of just trying to fulfill your need for finishing. We rarely have the best answers already. The best answers are the answers that we don't know of yet, because we are trying to communicate something that we don't really know about. So believing that we already know how it should be and that it's not something that we have to explore, I don't believe in. So I really believe that we need to go and try out as many different options to really make sure that we do our best to make the biggest sensation for ourselves when we are making music. And again, it's like coming to a new town. Instead of just going to your regular McDonald's, then go and explore the specialties they have in the city, because no matter if you like them or not, they will bring something to how you perceive the world afterwards. If you get to taste something that you have never tasted before, I will promise you that you will have this in your taste buds for the rest of your life. And the same goes with music. Every time you go and explore, it's not because you need to like everything you do, but you need to give it a chance. And then maybe someday when you have done it enough, you will actually start to understand that there are something else that you actually like 10 times better. And making music is about exploring who you are and what you like and what you dislike. So just like we did some new melodies using the existing rhythms, you could also just go from square and make new melodies. But you could also make new chords, and you could make new arrangement for songs which are already good, but where you're like, hey, this is as good as I can imagine, but what about all the things I can't imagine? Maybe this is where the true masterpiece lies, just behind the next hill. But you need to go there if you want to find it. I really hope that you will try to do this at least once or twice, because you really don't understand what this is about before you try to do it yourself. And try to experiment with using bigger intervals. Try to experiment with starting on notes that you don't regularly start on. Even though you're doing something new and crazy, do your best to make it sound as good as possible, and do it slowly and sing along with everything you do, and also use the real words. And just remember, stay curious, because this is all music is about. If you are afraid of failing, then it's really hard to walk, because you will always fail at some point. But failing isn't necessarily failing, because even though you tasted something that was really disgusting, maybe the next time you're cooking something, then you are like, oh, it would actually be great here, even though I wouldn't ever imagine it that I would be using it in a real situation. Don't believe that you know what's best for you. Instead, just try out as much as possible, and then don't be afraid. I really hope that you liked this video, and if you did so, then please hit the thumbs up button and consider to subscribe to my channel. It would truly make me happy if you did so. Enjoy.